Hi, it's me, Michael, with another weekly report that is partly for you and partly for me to have a record of what my apps looked like over time. But really, just to say hi and just say, look, I've been busy. So we can start off with looking at the insight screen of Donegood. See what that looks like. For a start, this should not be like this, but what are you going to do? So this week we can compare last week to this week. We can see Donegood has been more or less cleared for launch. And I've been working on something else. So this is a big announcement, really. You see this website, Donegood, where I'm doing all my insights and stuff. The thing that shows you one task at a time. You can get it now. So you get a task. You've got your task lists. You can choose different lists that's for it. You can sort of schedule your day. But really the point is I sit down and I get this kind of zen feeling of, right, I know what I've got to do next. Press start on the timer, see how long I'm spending on it, and just no distractions. You can even, and I talk about this, don't I? Adding tasks is nice and easy, doing this stuff. And to launch this, I mean, it was very much a soft launch this week, but I did publish this blog post, which is, where is it? My Weird Year as an Indie Developer with Charts. So last week I finally finished this thing, as I think I mentioned, but this blog post is out now. I will link to it below, but if you just go to goodtohear.co.uk, which is a slightly awkward website, but go to read the blog. There it is. And my 6-month progress. So I got this thing working. It's got it's got all my time over 6 months. It's got all my app sales, if you're interested in that. That's all written up. And I just sort of told a story and gave myself some scores. Good habits, C-. Changes, F. Shoot, what the hell happened there? And Donegood, ready, and the podcast also not great if you look at it in terms of money. But, we're not looking at things in terms of money, are we? We're looking at things in terms of meaning and opportunity. And so, I've got an opportunity to work on stuff. But the first thing that I've worked on, I spent all this time that I gained from just selling this random app, I spent on Donegood. And now you can try it out too. Look at that. Isn't it nice? And let's go into the first break clip. Okay, so the next thing I've been doing is, I mentioned last week that I'd had some ideas for Shoot, which is really the simplest app in the world. It shows the camera feed. If I show my desktop, it just lets me kind of mirror the camera feed. Now, all I did on this before, it was the simplest thing in the world before. It was just, I'm going to come back to my main screen for now. All it was before was like the Apple's out the box preview video thing, which was like no code and nothing. But actually to be able to add any features to it, I've had to completely rewrite a load of stuff and like figure out a load of stuff. So I'll just show you some of the stuff I was dealing with. So when I look at this. Just wait till you see this. Desktop. Right, so when I would run the old version of Shoot with just the Apple kind of native thing, this is what the usage looked like. It was 0 CPU, like energy impact 0. So your phone. But then as soon as I plugged in a different way of rendering, suddenly I'm burning through CPU. In quite a serious way, and I'm having to figure out what is taking the time and like debug into all this stuff and like I tried this Apple sample code and it was like I cannot be burning 62% CPU to do this. And I'm sort of trying to reverse engineer all this sort of fairly low level, not low level, but like metal stuff and command encoders and all this GL stuff. So it just basically got a lot more difficult. And actually, all these different approaches. And so I had to do quite a lot of research. And the main reason I needed to do this was I want, instead of just mirroring the phone screen, how do I don't even know. I want to have a thing with, is it right? I want to have a thing with controls on it. All right. I want an overlay with controls on it on the phone screen, and I want just a clean camera feed on the computer, which you can do over AirPlay, which is what you're looking at now, or you can do over an HDMI connection, which is this thing, but you can't do it if you just copy the FireWire over. So I wasn't even aware of this use case, but if I can detect an external display, then I can do a slightly better job. I can feed the 1080p camera. I can feed the 4K footage. So say you're streaming your footage to a 4K device input, HDMI, whatever, then I should be sending you the 4K camera feed from that. So now I can do that, but there was a lot of hoops to jump through to be able to do that. So that's been a lot of the challenge this week. But also, someone on Twitter said, I thought you did portrait mode, so I wanted to also add some image filters. So I've got some experimental versions, so we can switch cameras. So I've got this, I thought I'd try a depth camera based virtual green screen. So that's actually looks pretty good. And when you see it overlaid, I tweeted it out, it's pretty much usable, and you don't have to have a green screen. And I also did a little portrait mode. So this lets you kind of blur the background, which we'll see more clearly if we sort of create more of a background. But this microphone, so we can blur out the background. I mean, we can sort of do that depth of field effect a little bit. So I've been experimenting with this, and it's going quite well. So that's the new updates to Shoot, but I'm just trying to be really careful because I can't break anything that people are used to using. But in order to make any changes to it, I've got to figure out a way of being able to put controls on the screen without breaking my promise never to put controls on the screen, because I don't want to disrupt people's streams by suddenly stuff popping up. But also that performance thing, if someone's just used to being able to put their phone on a stand without it being plugged in, and suddenly it gets really hot and it's stops working after a bit, it's going to be some bad reviews. So yeah, that's Shoot. It's the first time I've spent, you can see, it's the most time I've ever spent working on this app this week, and it's the one that's paying my bills, so it sort of makes sense that I should give it some love, and it's quite exciting as well. So yeah, that's Shoot. This is some footage of Anka sent me from Croatia. It's fun, isn't it? So finally, let's see what else. The podcast this week. Since I've started doing video, well, let's see, 2.5 hours I could do it sometimes, 3.5, maybe 4, since I've started, but I was always editing it in Final Cut, so yeah, it's taking more 5 hours a week now, 4 hours, 5 hours, but that's cool. We did the episode on, how do we, I don't know, I guess we jump into YouTube, Michael Forrest, and we look at the podcast. Yeah, so we did ideas last week, so it looks like this. We're talking away, and yeah, so the podcast's all right. What else we've got? My admin, 5 hours admin, and mostly I've just been working on Shoot and sort of getting some bug fixes up. But yeah, please come and try Donegood. It's available. Come to donegood.app. Maybe I should stick that on the screen. But yeah, it's ready. Give it a go. And if you sort of mention you saw this video, maybe I can give you a little free subscription or something. So, because I know no one's watching this, so I'm just grateful to the few people that do. So that's it, really. I'll see you next week. Bye.